I don't know if I should do Alita now or not, or if I should just be like, hello everyone, welcome to episode 194 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, recorded on Monday, August 22nd, 2022. On the podcast today, we have a man who's going to try to interpret the sounds that came from that screaming gaseous galaxy, Andrew Clark.
I'm sorry, the what?
Oh,
the event horizon is where? What? What are you talking about?
Oh, so you know how space is supposed to be silent because there isn't enough... Yeah, it's ether. There isn't anything there to carry sound.
Yeah.
NASA found a gaseous galaxy that the gas is dense enough to carry sound waves.
Yeah.
Somehow pointed a microphone at that. I'm not exactly sure of the mechanics of it. But yeah, they have audio from that galaxy now, and it's just screaming. It's just distant hallway screaming.
I mean, I'm sure it's like just static and that kind of stuff.
Gas escaping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what screaming is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like when people talk about lobsters and how, you can boil them alive. That's totally fine. Like, sure, it sounds like they're screaming, but that's just gas escaping from their body. And it's like, isn't that exactly what screaming is? Like, when you think about it, it's just us screaming out gas? I don't know. So,
I'm going to see if I can find this.
I saw it.
I don't think I saw it.
I think from the NASA Twitter account.
Yeah, this is just sound. I don't know.
Well, yeah, the reason that we have sound waves is because our atmosphere of gas. So, yeah, if it's a densely packed enough gas that, like, almost simulates an atmosphere, there could be sound waves.
I'm getting less hallway screaming and more of, like, a guy in a white sheet going, ooh, boo. Like, that's honestly
Space
what it
is
sounds
haunted.
Like. Yeah, because it's just, I don't know, the sounds of not humanity.
Well, so, like, space is haunted, right?
Yeah.
If ghosts exist. Because this shit's so bullshit when they're like, oh, you haunt the place where you died. It's like, so that's on some random point in the Earth's, like, rotation around the sun. In the sun's rotation around the Milky Way
ghosts are also
galaxy.
affected by gravitational relativity.
See, that's where I went wrong. But still. And then, yeah, the sun's rotating around the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy's rotation around the, like, center of the universe. All this shit. Like, yeah. So, space is full of dead people. Maybe ghosts do exist. And, like, it's a 1 in a billion chance that we pass through an area where a person had previously died. And for a brief second, because we're fucking screaming through the universe at billions of miles per hour, we're like, oh, it's a ghost.
Guys, what do you think the bean people do in Among Us after the imposter is either caught or gets away with it? They just float through space. They explore the universe. They're adventurers to their very core. That's why they're on the space station.
They don't die?
No.
Yeah, I kind of...
Well, yeah, they died, but they're ghosts. They live forever.
Just the bean people, though?
Sure.
What about the imposters? Do the imposters die?
Well, do aliens have souls? Probably.
They're not mentioned in the Bible,
No.
so I think... Rather pointedly not mentioned in the Bible. Isn't that suspicious?
Well, I mean, if Scientology is real, aren't souls just the...
Humors, or whatever the fuck.
I thought there was something about an alien, and they're either capturing souls or they created them.
Yeah, it's like... to all our Scientologist friends out there, I'm sorry if I butcher your culture. But it's basically like millions of years ago, a different... civilization lived on Earth, and someone did some bad stuff and put them all in stasis, and they're like trapped under a mountain, and every once in a while one of their spirits gets out and then goes into a human being, and that's why human beings have like consciousness, is because they're being possessed by the spirit of an alien from a different civilization. And then when you die, that spirit then moves on to, like, a newborn.
Okay.
So it's reincarnation, but, like, humans are, like, a thing, but our spirits are actually aliens.
Okay, so that belief system, spirits come from alien. Okay, fair. Huh.
I mean, that belief system, I believe that's like high level Scientology.
Yeah, no, you have to work your way up the rings.
Yeah, I don't think base members are taught that. Like,
No.
I don't think that's like doctrine for every Scientologist. That's like when you become super.
Yeah, then they
into
reveal
it.
to you the master
then
plan.
They tell you the secrets, and then not shockingly, a decent number of people are like, "What the fuck?" and bail.
I didn't even leave, and he told me we came from Borgs.
Also on the podcast today, we have Ryan Holtz, who is going to tell us what his favorite or most remembered South Park episode is.
Oh man, I genuinely don't know what. Probably Imagination Land,
Yeah.
if that counts. I think that whole trilogy is pretty awesome in a really cool way.
Brian, I forget if you went to this or not, but didn't our freshman year dorm host a watch party for that series of South Park episodes?
Probably.
Yeah.
We were into South Park first couple years of college.
Yeah, everyone was. It was
that.
2014, and it was a great time.
Our RAs put on, like, there was like an event one weekend, to try to keep us from, going out and drinking and having sex and besmirching the Lord or whatever the fuck their motivation was, where they would do all the weird nightly activities. Like, one of them was like come to the basement and watch South Park and have an ice cream sundae. Do you remember that? I remember going to that with Ian once. Like,
I remember there being a lot of events.
Mhm.
I remember having like 3 that I was ever interested in, and of those 3, 2 of them I was the only person to show up, and one of them it was a group of individuals that maybe we don't need to talk about. That I was like, nope, I'm out of here. So
what was
yeah.
the one that no one else showed up to?
One was the flag football, which I think I've talked about.
Oh, yeah.
On Saturday morning, where like it was me and Jesus were gonna do it, and then Jesus didn't. He was indisposed that morning, and I was like, okay, oh well, there'll be a few others. Maybe I'll make new friends, and then I was the only person to show up, and me and the person putting on the event, whatever. I'm sure it was required.
Right.
He showed up and he was like, all right. And we walked over to the field together awkwardly, mostly in silence. And then he was like, well, there you go. And it was just people playing flag football. And I was like, oh, do I like sign up? And he was like, nah, you just go over there and maybe one of them will let you play on their team. And thankfully I'm 6'3" and look decently athletic. So someone did want me on their team. But yeah, and he didn't play. He left after I got on their team. Yeah, no, it was kind of wild. And then another time I think it was Lion King in the what was that, like, comfy room near the office on the first floor? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I got a high-end nail polish there once.
Yeah, there you go. They were like, come watch The Lion King. And I was like, I fucking love The Lion King. And then I went and it was just me. And I was like, and they were like, you want to like make some popcorn and do like hang out? And I was just like, and I think I hung out for like 10 minutes and then was just like, oh, I'm sorry. Like someone's texting me. I need to go and help them out. Like I'll be right back. And then
just say, look, man, this is whack. I'm going. I am out.
And that RA is still there with a Lion King paws, waiting for Ryan to come back.
He's a Halloween Town skeleton, or
it was a she, and she did not pause the movie. I think she was well aware of what was happening. Like, my phone didn't buzz or anything. I just kind of grabbed it, like scrolled a little bit, and I was like, oh man, sorry about this.
Put the phone to your head and say, oh yeah, I'll be right there, it's an emergency, but you can see you have like the calculator app open.
Yeah.
That would be a fantastic series of interviews if any actual journalists out there want to contact a bunch of former RAs just to find out what the fuck that's like, what it's like to be that person. I would enjoy that.
I think it's the We all know the type.
Yeah.
But yeah, they weren't RAs because it was Bradley, so they were all like
Oh,
sophomores that lived
yeah.
in Dijope, you know,
Yeah.
and they were kind of like studying to be RAs because sophomores can't be RAs because then they'd have sex with all the people who live there.
Yeah, and the juniors.
Juniors, on the other hand,
never.
a junior would never be caught dead.
And a
having sex
20-year-old
with a
would
freshman.
never have sex with a 19-year-old. That'd be crazy.
That'd be fucking wild, dude.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I am Lucas the writer, and if our fantasy football league forces me to draft Christian McCaffrey again because everyone else is a big-brained idiot or a coward, I am going to lose my goddamn mind.
What's your draft strategy, Lucas?
Who are you targeting, bud?
My draft strategy is I'm going to draft the best possible player every time it comes up to me on the draft. Simple as that. It's easy. That's all you have to do. Good strategy.
Assuming that like how this has gone in the past happens again, I'm going to start reaching out soon to set up the order. You'll have the 4th pick. Christian McCaffrey at 4 is probably
Fine, yeah. Like
what's going to happen?
It's a decent value, but also like exactly where he's going to go. You can skip him. You don't have to draft him. You can pick someone else. You can pick.
If you want to avoid him, then you
Chase.
should probably pick the 6th or 7th or 8th pick if you don't want him, like, which you would have the capability to do in theory.
Which is a decent
But
strat.
I am not a coward like most
There
of
you
our
go.
fantasy football team.
But you're like bemoaning how you're going to be forced to draft him because everyone else is a coward. Like you can put yourself in a different position where you wouldn't be a coward.
Yeah. If everyone else is truly a coward, then you should pick the 8th pick, and then Christian McCaffrey will fall to you at the 8th pick, and you get the 9th pick right after it. And there you go.
Or you can, pick J.K. Dobbs with the 4th overall pick because everyone else is a coward. And
Yeah.
I think
Christian McCaffrey will fall all the way to the 15th round
yeah.
when we're taking kickers.
I think realistically, if I do, and I understand I'm talking to the competition right now, if I do end up with Christian McCaffrey, realistically, I'm not drafting him. I'm drafting someone else's. God, who could I get for him? Like, what, a 2nd and maybe 5th round pick? Is that fair?
Yeah, no, you can just trade him away.
Yeah.
Like, that's always allowed. That's why, you should never reach too far, because in theory, you can always trade a little bit, literally on the next day of the draft.
Yeah.
Like,
Or like right after. If you knew that there was a
Right.
guy that really wanted him, you could say like, "Hey, I knew you wanted this guy. Give me
It would be
someone
a-
else."
Yeah.
it would be a bit of an unprecedented situation, so I don't know how others would fall in it. I would think it'd be kosher to do like how the NBA trades draft picks and just have like an agreement between owners that like, I am going to draft this player for you if you draft this player and then this player later, like, or whatever the fuck. Like,
With, records so that people can't back out and say it never happened or something like that. Also, it'd be kind of weird because, like, who's to say whether or not that player that you want later on is going to be available for that other person to draft?
yeah. No, it'd be messy.
Mm-hmm.
Or more just like, you could say, like, I'm trading my 4th overall pick for your 7th overall pick, and then you will also allow me to select for you in the 5th round or whatever the fuck.
Oh.
Like, and then after the draft is over, we will trade these players.
The thing is that you've got about 45 seconds to...
No, yeah, no,
Figure
you'd have
this
to hash
out.
it out. You'd have to hash it out quick. It would probably have to be negotiated in advance. But, I don't know, we'll see. Fantasy.
It's coming up. Fall is almost here. I saw pumpkin spice shit in the grocery store last week, and that was upsetting.
Yeah. Jade was all excited because Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts released their signature fall drinks like a week ago.
Too soon.
And I'm like, it is literally the middle of August.
Yeah.
Come on.
Dog days of summer.
Don't do this to me.
But we are going to do the news of the week to ya.
You know, I had to do the news of the week to you.
Yeah. There was a fire at Nintendo. Is Petey Piranha okay? He's very flammable.
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah,
Oh,
Petey
wow.
Piranha did not make it.
Rip Petey Piranha.
We
Oh,
are.
I thought you meant he wasn't flammable. Like, I don't think he's flammable. He's a piranha.
Oh, I was going to say we are deeply saddened for the loss of our beloved Peter S. Piranha, who is survived by his wife Amy Piranha and his 3 daughters, Tina,
Gina
Claire.
and Nina.
Piranha, ages 12, 10, and 8 respectively.
As I was crafting this joke bullet, is that fair? Is Petey Piranha the most flammable Nintendo character?
Why would he be?
Nintendo character? I'm flammable. Like, I don't.
Well,
we're all flammable. I don't. Like, live plants burn the same as live animals. Like, they don't burn super well until they're dead.
Forget Nintendo. There are Mario bad guys that are bombs. They're just
flammable. I don't think bombs are flammable. The wick of the bomb is flammable.
Well, okay, so then what does the wick do when the fire on the wick reaches what's inside of the bomb? Is that not
that's
flammable?
Explosive. Not so much flammable.
Flammable and explosive are kind of the same thing. It's just a matter of pressure. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. The metal casings of a bomb are designed to shatter so that they cause maximum damage from all the shrapnel and everything like that. So that bomb part doesn't burn ever. It fucks
That's
you
not
up
the bomb.
instead.
The bomb is the thing that blows up, and that's flammable.
Right. The metal casing is part of the bomb, right?
Well, it's all in the way that the wick is also part of the bomb.
Yeah, but the metal casing's 90% of it. It's most of the bomb. I don't know. Mario
we're going by
is
mass?
probably... Mario is tied for the most flammable Nintendo character. That's what I'm gonna say. Every living organic being is very flammable.
I am desperately scrolling to try to find a named Babam, and I don't think they exist. I don't think Babams have individuality.
Yeah. we
Okay,
lost
Google
you.
Meet just did a
We
weird
didn't hear what you
thing.
said.
The universe exploded.
So, I did a thing. Google Meet.
Actually,
What if you tried to Harry Potter so hard that your doggo said, "My human"?
shoot
I
me.
saw that on TikTok. Yeah, no, I saw.
Jesus.
Well, it was a Zoomer making fun of millennials, and then there was a dude with a beard who looked like he was in his early 30s. That was like, y'all, we got to get our shit together. We're getting our shit fucking rocked out here, man. These Zoomer freaks have got us. They've got us dead to rights. We need reinforcements. We're getting killed, man.
Oh, God. Apparently some Zoomers are starting to refer to the 90s as the late 1900s. We don't fucking stand a chance. Millennials are done.
I feel like, yeah, as a zillennial, we're all kind of allowed to sit this one out more or less. But fucking, I feel like millennials are just the fucking beta whipping post generation. They're really getting it from both ends, man. There's nothing they can do. The boomers are fucking calling them out for avocado toast, and the Zoomers are calling them out for lame ass shit. It's rough.
Yeah, they kind of deserve it.
It's never been harder to be 38
Yeah,
than it is right now.
I saw something the other day. I think it was a New York Times post where they were calling for millennials to fill out a survey or submit reports, and it's we're trying to figure out if millennials deal with tragedy differently. If you were born between 1970 and 1990, contact us. And everyone's oh, what the fuck? Come on.
1970?
Yeah.
That's way too early, right?
No.
That's Gen X.
Yeah.
That's like the whole.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't Gen X start around 1970? Like that's.
Yeah, roughly. I'd say like
Yeah.
60s, 70s.
You're getting the majority of Gen X when you and missing the back chunk of millennials, which I'd argue that like yeah, people in like their early 30s now are the cringe lord millennials.
Yeah.
Because once you get older than that, they're not like participating in this culture war. And once you get much younger than that, you're us, which are like the older Zoomer crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So, like, I mean, generations bleed into each other. You know, like, I think millennials could probably be something, you know, around like 75 to 95. You know, 95 being like the absolute tail end. Most of the people being born for the last, you know, several years will probably fall into the next generation just ideologically. And same thing on the back end. Like, yeah, you can have some older people that kind of fit into the new generation born in the early to middle 70s, but yeah.
You're always going to relate more to the people near you. Like, we're always, even if, yeah, we're going to relate more to someone who's 4 years older than us than someone who's 15 years younger than us. Like, we're going to relate more to someone who's firmly millennial than someone who's on the very back end of the Zoomers who are going to be, they're what, like 14 now? Like, they're going to...
They're going to have buying power real soon.
They're going to be weird.
I don't know, man. Dane Cook somehow made it work.
Oh my god.
Hold on, doing some math here. Dane Cook's like 56 and his girlfriend of 5 years is like 22.
Yeah. Let's figure this one out.
Ugh,
She wasn't alive when Dane Cook was relevant.
That's a way of putting it that I haven't heard before.
It's kind of rough.
Speaking of rough, even Nintendo isn't able to escape the gaming industry's more toxic elements. Reporting has come out that accuses the company of neglecting contracted workers and letting sexist and misogynistic behavior slide.
I'm like 90% sure we've had at least 2 or 3
Yeah.
headlines exactly like this.
Yeah.
Right? Like we can't keep saying even Nintendo.
Yeah, like
at this
Nintendo
point.
somehow, against the wishes of God, has done something wrong.
Our golden boy, our good time pal, has somehow fallen from grace.
Boy, yeah, Piggy
Yeah,
Piranha was the one keeping all these whistleblowers at bay, but now that he burned up, it's all just coming out.
Peter Esperanto was a vicious
He was a fixer.
crackdown whip, who just anyone who dared bring anything against Nintendo was hushed instantly. And unfortunately for Nintendo, with the death of their enforcer, there will be many more stories like this.
Yeah. As
The
there
power
should be.
vacuum is what I'm interested in seeing. Who's going to fill the void of Peter Esperanto?
Koopa the Quick.
Peter, when you said Peter Esperanto like that, it sounded like he was Hispanic, like Peter Esperanza or something.
Yeah.
Like Peter Esperanza. He really brings it, you know. He's bilingual, so that was a big plus on his hiring.
I'm Japanese. I speak 2 languages, English and Spanish.
Yeah. Koopa Paratroopa is definitely
Ooh.
Angolan, I've heard, but I don't know. Like he can grab people by the leg and fly them up 100 feet, so he doesn't have to dangle them off a balcony. He can make his own balcony.
Does it have to be Mario? Like, can it be Ridley from Metroid? Just like a
Wow.
flying dinosaur monster?
No, it can't. It cannot be real. It can never. There was one Metroid game in like 12 years. One brand new Metroid game in like 12 years.
I'm just saying, who would you be more afraid of to show up to the office and crack down on your unionization efforts?
Honestly, Birdo. I don't know what. I would welcome Birdo, but that would be the most terrifying result for all of this.
You don't want Birdo to go dark.
No.
That'll be the last thing you ever see.
Birdo can bring it. Moving into film, the Embracer Group, infamous for buying up gaming companies, purchased the small and large screen rights to The Lord of the Rings.
Not sure how that works with Amazon like actively creating a Lord of the Rings show?
So it was Amazon and whoever made the Lord of the Rings movies never owned those rights outright.
Oh.
They were licensing them from a very small company that somehow purchased these rights. And this is happening on a timescale long enough. Maybe when people didn't even think these rights would matter. Maybe these were emerging technologies when some of the stuff was being sold and bought. But yeah, it had always been licensed out up until this point. That contract still stands, from my understanding. But
Okay.
yes, everything going forward will have to be seemingly approved by the Embracer Group.
So they'll just be paying the licensing fees to the Embracer Group instead
Yes.
of whoever they were before. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess they bought it for $770 million, which seems
Low.
low.
Yeah.
Considering, like, I remember seeing, like, as soon as the purchase went through, they're like, yeah, no, we have, like, 10 different shows and movies planned. Like, we're going to make a spin-off with Gandalf and Gollum and Aragorn and all this other shit. Like, they're going to make a lot of stuff. It's kind of reminiscent of Disney buying Star Wars, where they just bought the rights and they're like, we're going to run this shit to the ground.
We're going to milk this pay cow for all it's worth.
Yeah. That's weird. It's weird and kind of scary.
Yeah. Oh well. Don't have to watch it.
That's fair.
It's one of those takes.
But if you're an NBA player, you do have to watch anime. Zion Williamson, says that 80% of NBA players are into anime.
He just made that up. Like,
He's also like talking about his demographic, and I guarantee every single one of them was watching, like Saturday morning cartoons,
Yeah.
like Dragon Ball. Like they're not fucking diving into Japanimation like they're. It would be interesting if they were. Just like fucking Carmelo Anthony, just like really into Doki Doki Literature Club, like, you know.
There is a non-zero chance that Kevin Durant is into hentai. I would buy that.
There's a non-zero chance that any given human man is into
That's
hentai.
fair.
and also a few women.
Ah.
Not many, but a few.
Yeah.
Hentai, the great equalizer, all over the gender spectrum. People are into it. My headcanon is that Zion Williamson is saying this to get another NBA player to sign on to an anime sneaker deal to cover up the embarrassment of the Naruto sneakers that he endorsed. Yeah.
You mean
Endorse
Boruto's
Naruto
dad?
sneakers.
Yeah. Those Boruto's dad shoes were awful.
Like they looked bad or they broke? What happened?
Both.
Ah.
Just scummy. Just a scummy cash grab forever associated with Zion Williamson.
Look, if you wear sneakers that have Naruto on them, you kind of deserve it.
They didn't even have Naruto on them. They were like color schemed to be Naruto, and they sucked.
Zion Naruto shoes.
Lucas became a sneakerhead for one purchase and was not happy.
Yeah, no, it's just color scheme.
Yeah.
Eh.
Lame.
The Jordan Zion 1 SP Naruto. Interesting. They're not very expensive.
Yeah, wonder
Maybe.
why. Wonder why that price dropped so quick.
Did it drop though, or what did it launch as?
I don't know.
Because yeah, it's $95 now. Wouldn't it always be a collector's item?
I honestly don't know how the sneakerhead scene works.
Okay, they released at 130 and they're down to 95, and it's only been 4 months. So yeah, probably pretty rough. A $10 a month decrease is not ideal.
Are sneakers NFTs?
Are sneakers physical NFTs?
I'm not gonna say no.
Are paintings NFTs?
I
Basically.
I realize now I probably should have written somewhere in this document that Goku is in Fortnite, but we don't have to talk about that.
Goku Fortnite now.
Yeah, Goku Fortnite now.
Wow.
He costs
Goku.
200 Robux more than Vegeta, and I think that's hilarious.
Robux.
Like Sears
and Robux.
The combination no one ever expected. Sears is coming back from the dead, and it's gonna be in Fortnite.
Oh my god, Sears has Goku now.
We've saturated the Zoomer market. We got to start getting Gen X in here. What do they like? Sears? Okay.
Who's gonna be the next character, or the next group of whatever to go on Fortnite?
The Sopranos?
They're running out of shit. The Sopranos.
Tell me that's wild. Tell me I'm crazy for thinking that. Look me in the eye and tell me that is a ridiculous thing that will never happen.
I'm looking you in the eye and telling you that is a ridiculous thing that will never happen.
Okay.
House of the Dragon, like other HBO properties, sure. Like Sopranos, a 90s show about American mobsters that has no appeal to youth at all.
I might check out Fortnite if they put Barry in Fortnite.
Barry and his legendary ability, gun.
It's just a third John Wick skin, but it's Barry.
Yeah. You imagine a Zoomer booting up Fortnite, seeing the Sopranos skin, being like, oh, cool, it's like an Italian mobster. Oh, I'm going to go watch the source material. And like, Tony Soprano, a bit problematic, you guys. Like, did we not realize this as a society in the early aughts that he's not someone to look up to, you guys?
Actually, he's getting therapy and working on himself?
Is he lusting after his therapist to the point of sexual harassment and some questionable sexual assaulty scenes? Yes, but he's trying to fix it.
Imagine the discourse around Gabagool.
I was at Buca di Beppo recently, and if there weren't so many ethnically Italian people around me, I don't think I would have been able to resist all the Gabagool references. Right. There was just a lot of people around me making a lot of hand movements and saying things very flowy, and I was like, I don't think I can make Gabagool jokes in this mixed company without potentially igniting some tension. I mean, the place is called Buca di Beppo. Like, come on now.
I was gonna say, while we're just saying nonsense words.
The place is called Buca di Beppo. There were it was inside Universal City Walk. There were pictures of just, like, topless women on the walls.
Wait,
it was a very strange vibe.
Wait, hold on. So there's a very Italian place with just tits out, and there was a bunch of hand meats ripe for the taking?
I mean, it was just, it was like a old-style Italian restaurant with, like a ton of pictures of, like, Italian people. And then sometimes, every once in a while, like, the walls are plastered with pictures. If you look close enough, you would just see, oh, that woman just straight up topless, like, full nudity. It was weird.
Why aren't I getting lunch there every day?
Look, man, you can watch internet porn whenever you want. You don't.
But I can't eat Gabagool every day.
You can, but then you'll look like Tony Soprano.
Wow.
It's a family-style Italian chain. I'm like, oh, it'll be, like, cheapish, like, whatever. No. You get there, and you're like, oh, $35 for chicken bar? Oh. And granted, the portions are huge. Like, they should be at least 2 or 3 meals. But, like, I don't know. I was kind of blown away. I was like, holy shit, these are not cheap dishes.
I tried Googling it, and then Google gave me actually, do you mean Baku Deku? Which was a ship name for My Hero Academia homoeroticism thing. Yeah.
Google knows you too well.
It does.
No, it's Buca
Buca?
di Beppo. Buca di Beppo.
3 words.
Oh, okay.
Buca of the Beppo.
Yes. Of the Beppo clan. Buca was a renowned warrior of the Beppo clan.
I am Buca of the Beppo.
who conquered the majority of northeastern Tuscany in the mid-1200s. And was well known for his love of gabagool.
If there's 2 things I love, it's a gabagool and a conquering my enemies.
It's a gaba and a ghoul.
I get the gaba, I do the klaba.
We of the Beppo clan have united our favorite things, and we shall start a restaurant named after myself.
Sometimes you gobble the ghoul. Sometimes the ghoul gobbles you.
I am really glad I had a conversation recently that more or less boiled down to how ethnic are Italians, and the resolution being not very, because this conversation would be awkward otherwise.
Oh boy, I don't know. Like, what is an ethnicity? You can definitely tell, like, people who definitely identify as Italian. You can tell without them having to tell you that they identify as Italian.
Yeah.
It's a vibe.
Has that ever stopped them from getting a job, though? Or a home loan?
Is that what it takes to be an ethnicity? You have to be discriminated against? White is an ethnicity.
Yeah.
Is white ethnic, though?
Ethnic sounds discriminatory.
Yeah,
like using a term ethnic to describe a human being
Yeah.
is like inherently discriminatory. So that's kind of weird to me. Like, are Italians BIPOC? No. Is that what people mean?
Ethnic is not BIPOC. That's not what that word is supposed to mean. A lot of people use it that way. Those people are racists.
Italians are not bisexual or people of color. Confirmed.
Yeah, bisexual people of color.
Yeah.
God damn.
And there's never been an Italian bisexual person. It's just explicitly verboten. Like, you cannot.
What's the Italian word for forbidden? I feel like we shouldn't use verboten when we talk about Italians.
What? They were friends. They got along in World War II until they didn't.
Because the Italians were completely inept.
Yeah, exactly. They were too busy eating gabagool.
I missed my chance to.
Pics.
I missed my chance to accuse John Travolta of being bisexual, so I just have to move on now.
It's proibita.
Oh, that makes
strictly
sense.
proibita.
Proibita.
All right, this one's getting heavy, weird, upsetting. Following an appeal by the NFL to the NFL, Deshaun Watson's suspension was increased to 11 games, meaning that the current ratio is now 1 sexual assault equating to slightly less than half a game suspension.
Yeah, it's 0.4687 games or whatever, or sexual assaults per game.
Yeah, but the 8 is repeating, so we can just round that up to half. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's more or less half, right?
Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. I kind of thought that either the NFL would, just go for it and say, it's going to be an indefinite suspension, and then, after a year, it's over. Or they'd kind of say, look, we lost the suspension, or we lost the appeal. He's suspended for 6 games. We tried. We'll still continue to say that we're very, strict on our don't sexually harass and or assault women policy. But they went with this middle ground of, 11 games, and we're cool with that. That's good. That's what we want. And that, to me, doesn't make any sense. I thought they'd either try to drop the hammer or pretend to, and be like, oh, we wanted him suspended longer, but what can you do?
I mean, in this fantasy that you're describing, where that does happen, where they lose the appeal, it's the NFL going, guys, we filed the appeal and we said no. What do you want us to do here?
I mean, that's the way that the NFL is structured.
Right. It's... Yeah, no, I don't... Yeah, there was nothing... There was no outcome for this other than the NFL ignoring the situation or, yeah, an indefinite suspension that stops jackasses like us from saying, oh, yeah, this is the ratio sexual assault to suspension chart in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really had a get out of jail free card with an indefinite suspension that then gets like lifted after 1 year.
Right.
And then it's
Because
just
they could say the ratio was undefined.
Yeah, it's infinite. Infinite quarters per sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it just ends.
Yeah. No need to count how many it ended up being. It was indefinite. I don't know. An outright ban is the only thing that would make anyone like us happy.
Yeah.
So if they weren't willing to ban him, then they might as well have done one game. Like, it doesn't matter.
No.
It's irrelevant at that point. I don't give a shit if he plays 5 games or 10 games or 15 games this year. Like, he shouldn't be playing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to
Should
it.
be in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
And if the entirety of his guaranteed contract isn't seized by civil litigation, then it's an unbelievable travesty.
I mean, those, I think all but maybe like one of those cases have been settled. So, like, in
Right.
theory,
Yeah.
he is paying out money to those women. Like, we'll probably never know how much, but yeah, like, his contract should be seized. The Browns should be punished extensively. Because I've seen so many takes that are like, wow, the Browns did a bad job because their background checking process failed. Because saying that they failed, like, they didn't fail. They knew what he did.
They took a calculated
Yeah,
risk.
they just decided it was okay. Like, it's not like they thought Deshaun Watson was innocent and we have proof, and then they were wrong. They're not victims here.
I also object to that terminology. That was not a background check. They would not have been failing a background check. That is a foreground check. That is the first piece of information anyone thought of when they thought of Deshaun Watson during the time frame where they drafted him, where they picked him up.
Yeah. No, and they were in a bidding war against multiple other NFL
Yeah,
franchises.
no, like, if it wasn't the Browns, it would have been someone else. I don't know if any of those teams would have given him the structure of contract that the Browns did to make sure he lost no money whatsoever, but yeah.
There's a really good Defector article came out today that kind of why the Miami Dolphins suck. That kind of hypothesized this management is just scummy enough that somehow they are going to end up with Deshaun Watson by the end of the season.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
The Browns are like, oh no, too much heat. Better trade him. And Baker Mayfield, day 1 starter for the Panthers. They're just sitting there like, well,
Nothing.
back to drafting a quarterback number 1 overall 3 years in a row, hoping one of them works out.
Fuck the NFL. Last bit of news. Former voice actor and sex pest Vic Magonia loses the appeal to his failed defamation lawsuit. Now he has to pay even more money to lawyers and defendants.
Is he legally a piece of shit now?
I think so.
The judge banged the gavel and said, Mr. Magonia, you are now legally a piece of shit.
I hereby sentence you to existence as a piece of shit.
Yes, you will wake up every morning and be forced to recite anti-validations in the mirror where you say, I am a piece of shit. I am human garbage. No one will ever love me, nor should they.
I know this isn't going to put this whole situation to bed, even though it really should, but yeah, you know what? Glad this scumbag has to go into even deeper debt because he is such an egomaniac that he can't just go away with his moderate amount of money he's made over a successful career. No, he had to be petty and terrible, and yeah, now he's, I don't know, presumably, like, I've seen estimates like $500,000 in debt or something like that. So, yeah, cool.
This dude looks weird.
Right?
Does that mean?
I mean, if it's the picture of him in that weird-ass suit that he's been wearing for, like, 4 years now, no, totally.
He's a one suit kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's just him. It's what he looks like. He looks 70 trying to look 40.
Right.
I don't know.
No.
Maybe they used a purposefully bad picture.
All right. I think that takes us into the meme corner. Are there any? Are memes still a thing?
Are memes dead?
Are there new memes?
Memes aren't dead. They're surely alive. Andrew Tate's had a lot of memes, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he got kicked off Twitter.
Yeah.
Like I think he got kicked off every social media platform.
What was there any routine, I guess, to his misogyny, or was it just the usual stuff that conservatives get kicked off of social media platforms for?
I mean, it was one of those, like, it was not like normal conservative misogyny. It was
advanced.
It was like, women are
Shit.
property. I own them.
Yeah.
They should have the number of men they've had sex with tattooed on their forehead so that you can always know. That kind of shit. Like the kind of he's under investigation in like some Eastern European country for like human trafficking.
Oh,
Because he like supposedly kidnapped several women and also runs a business where he like runs some of those like cam girl loan things where, you know, they're basically indentured servitude, like that kind of shit. Like it's like, hey, I'll pay for your setup and then you owe me like 50% of your earnings, like that kind of thing. But like in like random Eastern European countries.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, I mean, like, just like a total huge piece of shit who has been doing this for a while and just kind of blew up recently, kind of because a bunch of people found out who he was and tried to like lambaste him, which then made him more popular. And now like he's like super popular amongst like young men and like little boys, like middle school age kids. Like it's like a whole thing. It's really bad. So he got like really his popularity like skyrocketed after like Hassan Piker ripped him apart, and like kind of like some of that blowback that you don't expect.
It's like the reverse no such thing as bad publicity thing, where people are like, actually Andrew Tate pretty based. Because some people don't like some personalities so much that like they will glom onto anything that anyone says to like combat that. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. On what level is criticism promotion, right?
Yeah. Well, I
think it was pretty impromptu, if I'm not mistaken. The whole thing
okay.
with Sunpiker. I don't think it was like, come on and we'll talk. It was like I am beefing with him on Twitter right now. I'm going to invite him on the show.
No,
right
it
now.
was. There was no ill intent. Hassan Piker saw a guy that he thought was a really bad dude and wanted to make him look and feel bad. And he did.
Yeah. Oh, he did. And Andrew Tate's demeanor noticeably shifts throughout the absolute fucking bashing that he got. Like, he did not feel good at the end of that, but then, yeah, obviously, he catapulted in popularity as a result, so I'm sure he felt good after that.
It's like kind of like the typical dude bro stuff that you hear people say and usually think that they're joking, but also like it's so bad that you can't really go, oh, he's just joking. It's like that bad, but he's one of the most popular people on the internet right now.
It's weaponized locker room talk.
Yeah.
It's like high quality distilled misogyny, racism, insert whatever you want here. Like, that you would hear from toxic pieces of shit in a setting where they think they're amongst like just a bunch of dudes and they can just talk shit.
And it's sounding like this isn't even a grift. It's sounding like this is what Andrew Tate genuinely believes, and that makes it worse.
He's a true believer.
Bad
oh
dude.
boy.
I mean, that dude got serious brain damage.
Because he was like an amateur boxer MMA fighter, right?
Yeah. All of these people who were involved in combat sports extensively throughout their 20s are dealing with brain trauma. Like, it's a pattern that cannot be ignored. So.
Fair enough. I don't know if that was a meme. That was a weird thing that was happening online this week. But that is going
to... You got memed. I sent you the Toad version. The Toad Andrew Tate.
Oh, yeah. That was
All I'm saying is whenever you get cut off while you're driving through the Mushroom Kingdom,
it's always a toadette.
It's always a toadette. It's never a toad.
I almost died in a traffic accident this week.
What?
Yeah?
Yeah. Just driving on Magnolia. I was in the right lane because I was going to take a right turn at the end of the block, and then someone pulled off the curve without ever looking into over their left shoulder. So I had to swerve into the middle lane to not, T-bone them.
Mm.
Nice.
It's terrifying.
I saw a car accident for the first time in a little while. Just full blown. Some dude was in the left lane, and he was trying to like get out of it. Like he was in the left turn lane at a stop at the light,
right,
and was trying to go straight. So he just, and someone was just coming, and I don't know, he just thought he could make it, so he just floors it and tries to get over, and they just absolutely fucking whack him. And it was just like, what just happened? That was dumb.
Well, just take the left, dude. You can correct later. Your nav will update. It's not worth it.
People don't like. Same thing with like when they swerve to get out of the exit.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what? Just take the exit and get back on. It's no big deal.
And we will exit this call and jump into the other one. Okay, I think we're technically in the breakouts now. Andrew, is Westworld going to get a 5th season? Does it deserve one after the 4th season?
I don't know if it's going to get a 5th season. I mean, like I saw an interview with Lisa Joy, like right after the finale aired, and she was kind of just like, yeah, like she answered some questions like, those are things that we're hoping to explore in the 5th season. If we get one, that's kind of up in the air. We really hope we do. It'd be really nice to have a 5th season so we can kind of wrap this stuff up, like heavily implying that like, give us one more season so we can end the story, because we're probably not going to get much leeway after that. Does it deserve one? I think it does. I think this was kind of a return to form season. Not as good as the first season, which is kind of a really high standard to meet. But one thing I will say is it kind of seemed like they knew their leash was tightening, and they said, okay, like they've said multiple times before, they have a very set roadmap of like where this story is going to go and like the beats they need to hit. Like ever since season 1, like they've known where this is going to eventually get to and what's going to happen along the way. And it kind of seemed like they maybe wanted like 2 or 3 more seasons, and they didn't really think they were going to get it. So they tried to pack some of those beats into season 4 so that they could then finish it out in season 5. So things moved a little faster than it really should have.
Wait, sorry, are you claiming right now that in season 3, the people making Westworld were like, yeah, we'll wrap up the storyline in season 6? They were, it seemed like they were that confident that they would run that long?
No, I think in season 1, they thought they were going to wrap it up in like season 6 or 7.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah. But yeah, I think season 4 was pretty good. It moved kind of quickly to the point where it was just like, whoa, what? I thought we were going to have a while to get to that eventually, but it's just like, no, that already happened. It happened and we're in it. Like, deal with it.
Doing that shit.
The finale, I know you guys aren't going to watch it. So basically, without getting into all the bullshit that happens throughout the season, because like I said, there's a lot. Eventually, a robotic version of the Man in Black, like a host version of him that's mostly William, but like also kind of different, takes control of the computer system that is controlling all humans, because all the humans had been taken over. That's a whole nother thing. Don't ask about it.
Wait. No, you can't.
No.
Okay, so
every living human being...
Not every single one, but like the majority of them.
Almost every living human
Yes.
being on planet Earth is controlled by a computer.
How?
So I guess I'm going to explain season 4 of Westworld.
Yeah.
Please.
I think you do
So like
have
the
to. You
the
can't
first
brush
half
past that.
of season 4 is some of these characters, it's been a couple of years since the last season. They're trying to get on with their lives, and they realize that Tessa Thompson's Charlotte Hale, that is also kind of Dolores, but not really, is trying to enact where we thought Dolores was going to go in like season 2 of like the robots are going to take over. Like the hosts are going to be in control and subject humanity to slavery the same way that the hosts were. So they try to stop her, and they fail. And what she has done is infected humanity with like nanomachines, like a parasite nanomachine type of thing that she can then control remotely. That using an AI that is also built off of Dolores's brain that writes stories for everybody to keep them in line so they don't have any control. That makes them do things on command and just live out their life, but like only according to a script. And so they were trying to prevent that from happening. About halfway through the season, you realize that they failed, and you've been following the repeated memories of a host version of one of the characters who was actually killed. And then Tessa Thompson's character brought him back as like hundreds of different hosts that all failed to try to get information out of him about where the others are. That's is it Aaron Paul? That's Jesse from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
that's Aaron
Paul.
Paul's character. So halfway through, you realize it's been like 20 years. Humanity is enslaved, minus a couple of pockets of resistance. And
How
what?
How are the pockets of resistance not in the network? Why aren't they affected by the nanomachines?
Some of it, they explained it in the way that like the older people that had fully developed brains and were like less able to be manipulated, just like there were some people that had like rigid enough brains to resist the parasite, but then also over time there's been like a couple of people that have diverted, that eventually realize like things aren't right, this doesn't make sense, and they're like going insane, but like what's happening is they're like diverting away from their script. And then so at that point the resistance fighters will go in a place, extract the person that is an outlier, and then like recondition them to be like a non-infected human. So there's not a whole lot of them. And during this entire time, Bernard, who has lived through like millions of different simulations of life, is like trying to figure out how to like win and save sentient life. Because
he's Doctor Stranging it.
Yeah, he Doctor Stranged it because he went into Sublime and like lived through like millions of different simulations, and he like knows everything that's going to happen, and there's like no possible solution to win, which is like the one thing. He's like, I've lived through like hundreds of millions of lives, and there's no single way to win. I'm like, that no, you'd find a couple. But anyway, so that shit all happens, and Aaron Paul is a robot, and his daughter is now the leader of the resistance, and she goes into the city to find him. And then at that point, the Man in Black, who has been like kind of questioning his own shit because he's the robotic version of himself, confronts the real life version of himself that has been kept alive in stasis, and the real life version of himself is just like, you're a pussy, you're a little bitch, because you're like asking for permission, you should just do whatever. And then so the Man in Black goes to the computer system, reprograms it to make every person that is being controlled by the parasites just attack each other battle royale style. And at that point, the narrator, who is Tessa Thompson's character, is just like, and humanity will go extinct pretty soon. Like, maybe a few people will survive, but not many. So, like, human life on Earth is basically done. So, Bernard's big solution was to upload Dolores's AI into the, like, robotic simulation heaven thing and have her try to, like, recreate humanity in a way that isn't self-destructive. But no matter what you think of this, there is a point in the beginning of the last episode where, like, everyone's fighting each other, and it's just like, oh, we follow this character and then they die, and like when they follow this character and then they die, and then like this character and then they die, and it's, you know, it picks up with the person that killed him, because it's basically a commercial for PUBG. And then the last man standing in that area is this guy with a sniper rifle, and then he goes down and gets in a truck, and then the Man in Black pops out of nowhere and shoots him. He's like, you know the rules, you fucking camper.
No.
Yeah.
Andrew.
And drives off.
No.
Yes.
Jonathan Nolan wrote, you know the rules, you fucking camper.
Yeah.
Dude, this show sounds absolute dog shit. I'm sorry, man.
So, if I recall correctly, the first season was a pretty well thought out and emotional story, principally about different characters trying to figure out what it means to be human, what consciousness is, how to achieve that if you are worthy of it, if anyone is. And now just everybody's a fucking robot.
Well, no, now
like,
they're all
functionally,
dead.
everyone's a robot.
Now everyone's dead.
Okay.
Oh, so it is confirmed that humans did all kill each other?
The whole thing, like, as Bernard and some other people are uploading Dolores's consciousness into the AI so that she can run tests and try to make a new version of humanity, you know, that is sentient but not self-destructive, is like, and none of us are really gonna make it. This is the end. Like, Bernard is killed, Maeve is killed,
but none of them are. Those aren't humans.
Yeah.
Like,
no. I mean, like, and then there's not a whole lot of human characters left in the show at this point. Like,
is there a difference anymore?
They're all dead. There's like a whole thing where like Aaron Paul's daughter is like sailing off into the sunset to like go find safety, and it's just like, yeah, no one's really gonna make it, and like it's gonna be over like sooner rather than later. So that's why we need Dolores to make new humans, because otherwise it's just Earth and no sentient life.
So, in the real world, in the overworld, what % of, like, living, human-looking people are, like, bona fide organic humans
most
that
of them
do have the parasite?
Yeah, most of them.
So, like, no, that do have it. So is that, like, 90%?
Yeah, like the vast majority, like the overwhelming majority, are just regular organic humans that have the parasite. And there are some hosts running around that Tessa Thompson made and said, you can do whatever you want, like, you're in charge. And there's like a couple of them,
and then
but
there's
most
a
of them
few
are
that
killed.
don't have
like,
any parasite.
all of them that we know of are killed in the last couple episodes.
But once again, you can't really kill them. Like, there's bullshit ways to just, like, kind of, the marble is...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
the marble's a cloud.
Like, Maeve dies for like 20 years in this season, and then they just bring her back.
Like, philosophically, creating a human race in a simulation that does not have self-destructive tendencies is not creating a human race.
Right.
Like,
Well,
there's no free will anymore if you're gonna tamper with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Also, self-destructive tendencies. It sounds like the robots destructed the human. Unless you're going to argue that, like, by creating robots, it became eventually self-destructive.
Like that was the thing, is that, you know, the robots took over and finally had their utopia, and all they did was hunt humans for sport, and like didn't really do anything.
The robots were self-destructive, not human beings.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the humans, when they did their thing, very pointedly made it so that the robots could not destroy themselves. Like, they made it not self-destructive. And then the robots said, fuck that. We're going to destroy you.
I swear to fucking Christ, if in season 5, the final twist is, and now we've made robots that can reproduce sexually, there is no difference between human and machine. Go watch Blade Runner 2049. I am going to throw up.
Yeah, the man in black pulls up in a pickup truck, kills the last remaining character, and says, go watch Blade Runner 2049. It does it better than we're doing right now. You can leave. Like, I think it's even on HBO Max, so, like,
go
you don't
find
have to leave the
Andrew.
platform.
He has a Blu-ray copy.
Yeah, Andrew Clark in Madison, Wisconsin has a Blu-ray copy. You can go hang out with him.
As long as you don't
he'll
fucking
hook you up
camp.
with some weed. Yeah. Just don't camp. My name is Ed Harris. I'm an actor. I played the Man in Black in this series.
God.
Like, that's bad. I'm sorry. This show sucks.
I'm not very good.
Okay,
first off, you can absolutely have that opinion. Like, I see where you're coming from. I'm not going to argue too hard against it. I liked it. Like I said, like, they packed a lot in there, and, you know, kind of moved a little too fast. But I liked it.
I think you do a just fine job of
I'm not a very
it.
good storyteller. I know that.
I think you did
nailed
fine.
it.
I think you did fine. You liked season 2, and we did not. Like, I think that's all we need. Like, yeah, you like that. We think
look, I'm clearly in the minority because
bullshit.
the viewership of this show is in the goddamn toilet.
I thought that the general opinion, though, was that 4 was a bit of a return.
Yeah, I know
form,
most people thought that, but no one, like, 3/4 or about a third of a million people watched every episode of this season. Like, that was the viewership of every episode. Season 1 and Season 2 were, like, over 2 million an episode.
House of the Dragon just got
10 million?
Ugh.
Yikes.
Yeah. And that's after the fiasco that was Season 8.
So the people that stuck with Westworld were like, hey, this one's, it's better. It's pretty good this time. But no one else is watching
screaming
it.
at it. Right, they're yelling at a now empty theater. Hey, this is really good. Good.
It's good again, guys. Get back in here. Watch a season and a half of television to get caught up, but then it'll get good again.
And it kind of doesn't. It's based on, like, it all sounds like bullshit. I don't know. Season 1 was good. Why did they have to? I don't know. Like, I liked the ending of Season 1 if it was a limited series. They needed to, like, keep Westworld if they were going to make it any good, you know? They needed to not leave Westworld.
So,
no.
At the end of Season 4, when Dolores' AI is uploaded and she's talking about how she's going to make, you know, new humanity, like run some tests, she's like, I have to go back to what I remember. And she recreates the park of Westworld in the simulation, and that's where the tests are going to be run. So
yeah.
So
they're going back.
They're gonna try to. Okay, please, let there not be a Season 5.
Oh.
That's all I ask.
Look, man, they're giving you what you want. You wanted to go back to Westworld, they went back to Westworld.
I didn't want them to go back to Westworld. I wanted them to never leave it. I thought that was where the story area was. They teased Samurai World and all this other shit that, like, ended up being one, like, decent episode in a sea of bad episodes. Like, that could have just been more seasons following more characters on this interesting, like, story device. But they instead just, like, what if we just said, fuck that?
Technically, it was Shogun
Made
World,
it...
not Samurai World.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't.
Wow.
No, it wasn't. It was Samurai World. Come on.
Like, they could have literally just made a, like, True Detective Fargo style. Each season tells a like unique story about the fucking hosts that live inside of Westworld. It didn't have to, like, they could have ended Dolores' story. She could have escaped into the real world or some shit, and that would have been fine. And then season 2 was new characters. That all would have been good.
Yeah.
But nah, can't do that. That'd be too fun and awesome. That would be too capturing the magic of season 1 over and over again until we get bored and decide to can't end the show and bring back like maybe all the characters that everyone loved for one giant final season.
Okay, so that was a very high-minded conceptual conversation about a pretty complexly written, for better or worse, piece of media. So to go off of that, I watched Vertigo for the first time yesterday.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one,
Really?
actually. How is it?
You should see Vertigo. It's a
Oh,
little
Vertigo's
long,
good.
but it's very good. And because you haven't seen it, I cannot get into the movie too much. But, yeah, Hitchcock. Pretty good filmmaker.
Hitchcock
spite of, or
low-key
maybe-
knew what he was doing?
I don't like Jimmy Stewart. I think he's
Ooh.
the worst of the leading men from
Is
that
that,
area.
is that
I've always been a
another
Cary
Jimmy
Grant.
Stewart movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vertigo stars Jimmy
Damn.
Stewart. I've always preferred Cary Grant to Jimmy Stewart. I've recently found out that Cary Grant is a big piece of shit who named names during the Blacklist period, and Jimmy
Ooh.
Stewart was kind of cool and like served as a gunner on bombers during World War II as famous actor James Stewart. Like, he had already made It's a Wonderful Life and then was like, yeah, I'm gonna go fucking fight in World War II. So that's kind of cool. But, you know, as an actor, I've always thought Jimmy Stewart is, and spoiler alerts for Vertigo, yeah, like fucking big incel energy. And Cary Grant's suave as fuck. I don't know.
I guess the one thing I will say about it, that doesn't really, it's not really a spoiler. It's more like maybe more indicative of filmmaking of the era or something like that. There is a scene where a character is out of commission and then a doctor says, I mean, yeah, it's going to be at least 6 months to a year before he's better. And then in the next scene, he's just out and about again. There's no indication of, like, 1 year later. It's just, nah, he's just going for it. And we're left to infer, all right, I guess he got better off screen. Why not? This movie's already a little too long, sure.
Yeah. It's got some length issues.
Yeah.
When the second story begins and you're like, oh, this is like the conclusion.
Yeah.
This is the denouement. And then no, that's like at least the third act, maybe a little more than just the third act. Like,
Right.
yeah. It's a little out of control.
Yeah, but Andrew, whenever you get around to seeing it, definitely recommend. Look forward to talking about it more at length. Ryan, you got anything cooking?
Better Call Saul wrapped up.
Was it everything you had hoped for?
Was it as good as Westworld
Yeah.
season 4?
It was much better than Westworld season 4. I do think I'm probably going to come down on the side of Breaking Bad at the end. I thought Breaking
Okay.
Bad had a better beginning to end. I think that Saul's... But Breaking Bad had the same issue. Like, Breaking Bad's finale, our climax was definitely in the second to last season. And I would say argue the same thing for Better Call Saul. Like, the climax of Better Call Saul was kind of like towards the beginning of the final season. And I think that Vince Gilligan likes to, you know, taper before the end of his shows. So, I don't know. It was fitting. I like the characters. It's a depressing show. It's a very real show. Breaking Bad was kind of wish fulfilling.
Yeah.
Better Call Saul is very much like just, no, the world is gonna put you in the fucking dirt and just keep on burying you for the remainder of your life. And the only way out is to become a nihilist and say none of this matters. I'm just gonna, I don't know, pursue like arbitrary monetary gains and become a shell of a person that you then meet in Breaking Bad.
No.
Because it is kind of hard when you watch the first few seasons of Better Call Saul to be like, how'd this guy become Saul Goodman? Like, this guy's you want to root for this guy, you know? He's a scamp. He's a con artist, like, you know. He's not just an actively horrendous person, you know? How'd this happen? And then throughout the show, you're like, oh, it's because the fucking universe is an uncaring, cruel mistress, and everything that can go wrong will.
We listen to the sound of the universe at the top of this podcast. Yeah.
The universe is just a dude in his 30s with a bed sheet over him trying to spook you.
Ooh, you should kill your parents. Ooh. I listened to the sounds of the universe, and it whispered the truth to me. He said, I should invest in Bitcoin.
It's going to be the kill your parents, Tracy.
That was a meme. That's an ancient Robot Chicken sketch, but that's a meme.
It is.
I'll be brief about this next one because I don't actually have a ton to say about it somehow. Well, okay, I could talk at length, but it's very minute points. I saw the new Dragon Ball movie, Dragon Ball Super, Superhero. #1 at the US box office last weekend. Really dry weekend, but it was still #1 with 20 mil.
20 mil? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That is a rough #1.
Is there anything else?
That's a number 4 on a decent weekend.
So, like anything?
No, I don't think so. I think everything else on there was on its second or third week. I might be mistaken.
Wow.
But, yeah, seeing that movie, thinking about it after, made me realize, what do I want from Dragon Ball, from a Dragon Ball movie in the year 2022? And I think I just want other creative, talented, smart people to realize what made the franchise so successful and then to iterate on it in their own works and learn from it. And that's been going on for literal decades. So on the curve of that, on the curve of me already having everything I want from Dragon Ball, this movie was fine. It was nice seeing some slice of life stuff. This is a low-key Piccolo movie. Yeah, it was fun. The transformations are bad. They're worse. They're a little bit worse than all the other ones to come before them, which has been true of Dragon Ball for like 40 years. So, it was good.
Dragon Ball Super actually released against Beast, the new Idris Elba movie.
Oh, where he fights a lion?
And almost doubled its box office return. So that's kind of rough for Beast.
Sorry, Idris Elba.
Yeah. Top Gun Maverick was 4th place with 6 mil.
Came out like 4 months ago.
That movie came out a while ago. I'm surprised it's in any theaters anymore.
Right?
No, it was literally 3 months ago.
Do I have any straggling thoughts? I didn't mind the animation style. It was 3D as opposed to the more traditional 2D for Dragon Ball. It was fine. They adapted it well. I like Dragon Quest games, so this looked like a Dragon Quest game, a Dragon Quest movie.
Question.
Yes.
Was this a sub or a dub? Like, what is available in theaters right now?
Both, actually. I watched the dub version. But I believe select theaters are playing a subtitled version of the film.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Lucas is dubs. We know this, Andrew.
Yeah, I know. He's
Andrew.
smart.
I'm all about getting the dubs, Andrew.
Lucas out here eating dubs.
Oh.
Ow. Jameis Winston style.
The super gross thing that he does where he sticks his whole hand in his mouth.
Gotta eat them dubs.
That being said, the voice acting in this film, pretty good. Everyone still got it. New folks they had come on for this did a fantastic job. I'm a little fucking annoyed that fucking Goten and Trunks finally look like teenagers, even though I think in the canon they've been 14 for a while, but still look like kids. Neither of them go Super Saiyan, though, even though they can do that, and the cynical part of my brain is like, well, yeah, they want to sell the toys of them in the regular form before, like, a new version of them comes out, and then they have to sell those toys. So, yeah, that was annoying. I'm cynical about that, but whatever. It's fine. It's chill. And if no one else has anything else, I will say I beat Live Alive. I beat the Distant Future vignette, which is just, what if Alien and Space Odyssey were the same movie? Turns out to be a pretty fun, tense time. I beat the Middle Ages storyline, the real villain of that is just the patriarchy. And that's just, that turns into the theme of the entire game. Hey, what if systemic issues in government, in masculinity, in the way we organize as a culture is just causing all of these problems, and enjoyed that. Game really does kind of stumble in its last act, though. Last couple hours, the Domain of Hate, where all the different heroes come together to fight the big bad, was way too long and a slog and a difficulty curve. There was a fun exchange, though, where one of the characters in this game is a cowboy. He meets a dude who's from the near future, but really just our times. And that guy says, "Oh man, last thing I was expecting to see when I woke up in the Middle Ages was a cowboy." And my immediate reaction was, this dude hasn't read The Dark Tower. You're not in the party. You're out. Fuck you. I don't want you on my team. So yeah, good game overall. I'm glad I played it. Hideki Uchikoshi has been generally progressive on Twitter lately, so I think I'll finally play some of his games. 9990 Escape, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my life. That's what I'm doing. I think we have just enough time to super quickly talk about chapter 102 of Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is back. We stan an unproblematic king. Chainsaw Man is actually very problematic, but not in this chapter. Did nothing wrong.
I was going to say, I was like, I'm going to go to the Chainsaw Man wiki and look up Chainsaw Man and see.
Yeah, no, very.
See if he's got any issues.
Problematic.
Listen, is he kind of juvenilely homophobic? Yes.
And sexist.
But he was right. He was right when he let 6 people die so he could save that cat's life. That was the right decision.
Yeah, no, Lucas is like, he's an unproblematic king, and like, the one scene he was in this issue was a monster was like, "Oh, Chainsaw Man, you think you're a hero? Well, you have to choose this young kid or this car full of old people. Like, which one's it gonna be?" And then he just lets them both die and doesn't do anything, and just like, "I choose the cat that was behind you that you didn't give a shit about," and kills the monster and saves the cat. And it's like,
No.
Oh, okay. I guess unproblematic is being a huge sociopath. Like
his sense of the value of human life is forever skewed by the fact that 1, Chainsaw Man is immortal. We've talked about this. And 2, everyone he's ever cared about has tried to kill him at some point.
Look, Andrew, you don't understand. You can't judge Chainsaw Man on a regular scale. He's neurodivergent and also a minor.
I mean, on the one hand, do I think it's morally reprehensible to like and appreciate a character who is a canonical murderer? Yes, but also he is my comfort character, so fuck off.
Says a lot about you, man.
Good chapter. A lot of fun. Are people really that much more afraid of cockroaches than they are bats? That the cockroach monster would be that stronger than the bat monster?
I was really confused.
Right.
Yeah, the lore of this universe doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't always line up.
I feel like bats, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck around with rabies.
Yeah. Right.
Cockroaches are gross, but they can't really hurt you.
Yeah.
I will say a cockroach in your home might be scarier than like a bat outside, because it's like, fuck.
Yes.
When you see one cockroach, there are many cockroaches now in your home. Like, if you saw like a cockroach in a parking garage somewhere, like, nah, whatever.
I saw, I'm keeping this trend going. I saw cockroaches just on the street in San Jose.
Fuck San Jose.
Fuck San Jose, riddled with cockroaches.
Which is like where they should be,
like on the street
outside
of a big
not
city. Yeah.
not indoors.
Outside of a bar in their patio area where the cement and wood railing is just saturated with alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
fuck
that
New
sounds
York.
good.
I swam 16 miles off the coast of Cape Cod, and I found a shark that ate me. Fuck that state.
Okay. This podcast is in agreement. The cockroach devil should not be that much stronger than the bat devil. Good.
Yeah.
Good for us. And good for you for listening to episode 194 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, which will almost certainly be titled... wait, which one do we want to go with? You know what? I am Buca of the Beppo. It's probably better. Might get us into some hot water with the Italian-American community, but we also decided they're not an ethnicity, so it's fine. It's fine. If you're like...
They are very much an ethnicity. They are not, in your own words, ethnic, which I don't know if that's a great term. They are not BIPOC. This is probably better.
Fair. Gosh, should that be the title? Italians aren't BIPOC. That's not going to have negative consequences. If you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, etc. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok for highlight clips. ActBlue link in the description. Support us through the Anchor Podcast platform or join our Patreon, where you'll be joining the likes of the terrific Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and sensual Richard Nixon. Send us your questions and business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at V2_podcast for updates. Follow me at LucasTheWriter on Twitter to keep up with all of my writing. And, most importantly, have a great day. See you next time. Goodbye.